Hi, this is Andrew Davey at Nevada Ford, and we're here with Reverend Stretch Sanders. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. God bless you. Power to the people.
So, first off, we're recording this just days after, however you want to describe what happened in Charlottesville over the weekend. What was your first reaction?
My first reaction really was like, I wasn't in shock, but it was a wow moment, because even though we've been seeing this for decades and for centuries, when you're in 2017 and these things are still happening, it's still gonna put you in that place of like, wow, you still at this same square, So I wasn't shocked, because to be shocked means, you was caught off guard like it was something new. I was not shocked, but I was like, man, it's like here we go again, So I'm definitely sad. It was a woe moment on Friday. Saturday, after I got word the young lady lost her life, then I became really saddened, the fact that somebody really, life, was sacrificed, because of this ignorance by this individual who drove through a crowd. But I'm also rejoicing, because I feel that, I believe that what she did was not in vain. I'm putting her life on the line. So my prayers is to her and her family, but it has to stop. But I really was saddened, taking off my spur for a little bit. The fact that we're still at this same point, hundreds of years after the same terrorism is still being placed upon oppressed people. So I was just very, very shocked. But like I said, or not so much shocked, but very caught off guard about it. But I believe what's going on is nothing new. So for me, it wasn't really, a wake-up call. Some people are saying, well, it got me to see exactly where America is at. Or, for me, I've been knew where America was at, and it also wasn't, like some people are saying, well, this is not America. This is America. And it's time we start calling it for what it is. You can't name one decade where something tragic has not taken place on this soil that was an act of racism. You can't name one. Every decade since this country was founded, something's took place, that has made you say, wow, here we are again. So therefore, you can't keep saying this is not America. This is America. It's time we start calling it for what it is and say, hey, this is how Americans getting down. We have to be a different example, and show how America not necessarily should be, but how we should act as people. And that's where it's at. So I think that, this is definitely a call to action, and if we don't take this as a call to action, it's gonna get worse, because it's like a cancer. America is very ill, very sick, and it's never really been healed. It's been patched up, with certain things, and we patched it up, with giving us a president, certain people of color in certain high places, and in certain acts and legislations, but we never fully dealt with it. You pull out your money, you got presidents who own slaves. We have a constitution that was written by people who own slaves. Certain documents were written by people who own slaves. There are schools who are named after slave owners. There are monuments like the Robert Lee that we see that people are trying to get taken down, which basically caused the uproar from the white supremacists. So as long as these type of monuments exist, symbols exist, then racism is still here.
So were you surprised at all to see that one of the faces at the forefront of this, leading this Unite the Right march, was from Nevada, from the state, a student at the University of Nevada, Reno?
I have to be honest now, that surprised me. That I had a whoa moment, whoa, then it was like, really? Because, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is a Virginia thing. This is how Virginia get down. I've been to Virginia for a march, and we marched to the Confederate statue, and, it was word that we may have been met by a white supremacist group. We wasn't, but we all was prepped for it, because we know, that Virginia is one of the first places where slaves were taken to, African slaves were taken to, and it's one of the states of the Confederacy. So I wasn't surprised when I see stuff like this in Virginia, because it's just like if you see something in Mississippi. Well, think about the history of Mississippi. Think about the history of Virginia. When I see this individual was traced back to the West Coast, not just the West Coast, California has always been, historically one of the most racist states on the West Coast. Washington, But Nevada, which is supposed to be, you know, pretty cool and kind of mellow on the racist tip, which we know, I mean, obviously it's not.
Yeah.
And then UNR, you know, on top of that. So it's like, you know, man, you know, my first thing was, what was he doing in Virginia? But like I said, that's besides the point, because, you know, racism will always connect. You know, I believe birds and feathers flock together, and races stick together. So I had to understand that, you know, that even though he was from Nevada, don't be surprised that he made his way to Virginia.
Now, what have you encountered here in Nevada in terms of discrimination, including institutionalized discrimination?
Well, one of the things I think we really are up against is really this police terrorism. You know, I think that's one of the biggest things. Since this year started, there have been 18 deaths at the hands of Las Vegas Metropolitan Police. And that's something that we always overlook. When we talk about institutional systematic racism, we focus on education and we focus on gentrification and the way these neighborhoods are set up by class.
Yeah.
But we don't really focus on what the police are doing. And to me, that's one of the biggest, most powerful organizations that, you know, I feel if you're going to have racism, have it in the police department, because they can literally do whatever they want to do and get away with it. So, you know, if the police did a rally like these individuals did in Virginia, they probably would get less repercussions because hey, that's the police. So, you know, we're taught to, you know, respect the law and bow down to the law. So the law can do no wrong. So, me personally, you know, I feel that just observing what's been going on, it's been, you know, the most, in my life, the most impactful is the way these police are terrorizing our communities. Policing us. And I mean, from the way Trayvon Cole was killed in 2010 to the way Keith Childress was killed in 2015 to the way Tashee Brown Farmer and Anthony Garrett was recently assassinated this year. So that's something I'm really seeing. And if you go and look at the dynamics of the way we live, if you go on the west side, everybody knows the west side is majority black and brown people. You know, you see housing developments. I personally feel like, you know, housing development shouldn't even exist anymore. I think that we have come to a point where, you know, just build housing, you know, but you got these housing developments, most of these are one way in, one way out type of places. You go to places like Desert Inn and Cabana where they have mobile homes, you don't see the same dynamic. You go into Summerlin, you see health food stores, Red Robin, all these restaurants that's healthy eating and healthy grocery stores. Then you go on the west side, you see a Dollar General and Starbucks, and then all these fast food chains and liquor stores. So just right there alone should tell you, you know, that racism is in the city of Las Vegas. It should show